Hola, hola, ¿cómo está, my fellow fans? Welcome back, welcome back. I know it's been a minute, but I am back. I have a update for the system. Yep. I went and did it again. Updated something else to the system. What am I unboxing today? Let's see, man. Let's see, man. Something that may be a little fragile. Something that may be, what is that? Is that a, what? Yamaha RX Aventage 2080? Holy shit.
Okay, so what I wanted to do here was illustrate the reason why I went with the 2080 and not the 3080. Initially, when I was looking at upgrading my receiver, I was looking at the 80. That was the one that I was going to get. However, looking at the 2080 and the price difference of the 2080 and trying to make sense as to what actually am I getting that's going to justify this increased cost of the 3080 over the 2080, and comparing the two, there's not much that you're actually getting of the 3080 that you don't get in the 2080. The only difference is that the 3080 is slightly stronger than the 2080, slightly 10 watts per channel, which you really don't hear the difference anyway, and the ability to process 11 channels for the 3080 versus the 2080 is just a 9.2 channel. They're both 9.2 channel receivers. So looking at the two receivers side by side, you'll see that virtually they're identical, with the exception of the 3080 being slightly stronger and it can process 2 extra channels, which I didn't need anyways. Even with the 2080, I can still run a 7.2.2 configuration versus the 3080 having the ability to run a 7.2.4 configuration, and it processes the 2 additional channels only with an external amplifier. So if you wanted to run 4 Atmos speakers with the 3080, you can do so only with an external amplifier. But looking at the advantages of the 3080 over the 2080, for me and my needs, it just didn't make sense to spend that extra cost. When comparing the differences versus the commonalities of these two receivers, you'll find that they are far more alike than they are different. A very short list separates the two receivers versus a long list that shows what they have in common. One last thing that I wanted to touch on is the differences between the entry-level Yamahas, the mid-level Yamahas, and the flagship Yamaha receivers. About 15 years ago, I bought my first Yamaha receiver. I forget the model number, but I was upgrading from an Onkyo, got the Yamaha, sounded great. Lasts forever, still running like a champ till this day. And it never had any problems. Sounded great, and I only upgraded because, after so long, I felt like, let me get something different. I was just in the mood for something different. Wanted to upgrade, so that's when I bought the Aventage 770. And the sound difference between the entry level Yamaha versus the 770 was a big jump. You can hear how crystal clear the 770 was. It was just that much cleaner. It had an edge over that entry level receiver. It was cleaner. The processing power, you can hear the accuracy of the movement from speaker to speaker, the sound separation from each speaker, the sound stage of everything. There were so many different things of the Aventage 770 that jumped over my initial Yamaha receiver that made me fall in love with the Aventage line. And now, you know, before I didn't think that it could get better than the 770 until I bought the 2080, because the 2080 has the surround AI. Of course, the 1080, 2080, and 880 or 3080 has the surround AI. Not knowing how much better it can get, I'm really impressed with how crystal clear, how strong, and how fast the sound is being processed. You'd have to hear it in person. I know the sound demos won't do it justice. I'm going to do a sound demo, and I know it won't be captured through a 2-channel microphone. You can't capture that because you got 9 channels. You got all these different sounds going on in different speakers and simultaneously, and it's moving this way and that way and so on and so forth. That cannot be captured through the sound demos. So I can only tell you that the 2080 sounds even better than the 770. That's enough of the jibber jabber. Let us get into a sound audition, shall we?
Almost 40 feet high. You really think she could have climbed out?
Depends.
On what?
What kind of dinosaur they cooked up in that lab?
Wait, what the hell? It's in the cage.
No, that's impossible. I was just there.
Claire, I'm telling you, she's in the cage. Wait a second. Wait. There are people in there.
Get them out of there now. Now! Panic 11, this is Control. You need to evacuate the container.
Yo, what's the problem?
It's in the